Maar toen ook wel weer. Hey, nee, buku jauh baik dong kalau baik. Hey, buku no. Kamu jauh. Tunggu dulu. Gua boleh lari ini. Kita bisa. Gua kumil. Kita bisa. Tunggu dulu. Ah! Oh boy,
Good morning. I'm off of work early, so instead of streaming Rivals, I figured we'd watch the tournament. This is the European tournament. It's the grand finals. It's been pretty damn good gameplay. So we're gonna watch the lower bracket finals, potentially the upper bracket. I hope the upper bracket before family dinner. So without further ado, let's unmute this and get it going.
That is just a terrible area to play into group. It's a wonderful place to set up a throne if you happen to be Black So. It's going to be once again the Venom ban coming through from Fnatic. They don't want to match Enzo's Venom, and they kind of create this choice for OG. Do you want to deal with Monk Meta on the Heller, or do you want to deal with Black So on the group? Because the other one is getting protected, bro.
Well, it is going to be the Hella taken off of the table. Like, Groot, if they do manage to play it, it is going to be countered potentially by the Wolverine battle. So Melio and Tanuki both likely going to be able to access their signature heroes, as we're waiting to see what exactly OG is going to be able to protect. It will be the Wolverine protection, as we talked about, as Hidan actually talked about when he was on the desk earlier. Tanuki is a little bit less flexible in terms of those duelist roles in comparison to something like Melio. Fnatic instantly going to be going for the group protection and the Starlord ban, yet again keeping Tanuki's hero pool to an absolute limit.
I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. This is one of a few teams as well that's not particularly keen on banning Ken's Loki. Ken's probably one of the best Loki players that we have in all of EMEA and consequently all of the world. But Sylvie, very comfortable matching that. Picked up the MVP on Spider Island just now, and Luna's banned again. It's the same draft from OG. But given how close the last match is, they might think that they can change this in terms of their mechanics and planning rather than their draft stage and come out on top.
Yeah, I want to know which of the submaps it's going to be. If it's Bifrost Garden, it's going to be super out in the open, which is another reason why you wanted to remove the Starlord from play. Same thing with Throne Room. There's a lot of pillars that the Starlord can hide behind. It allows the Magneto to find even more value with those bulwarks, because you always have to try and break them to get to the Starlord hidden within, which would allow that Magneto instant access to the full damage and knockback potential, that 9-meter push on the right click. As it's going to be Etsu now getting to opt in for that Bucky. Alex is going to be playing on that Rocket Line Pro as well, but this is just going to be for those jump cookies for either the Wolverine, or what we've actually started to see come through is that the Vanguard takes that jump cookie, so that when they have their first ultimate, they instantly get to elevate themselves even higher into that skybox and have an angle that goes above the other enemy team's shields.
It's also a great answer to the Wolverine itself as well. Being able to simply lift off to space when Wolverine pins you and starts going at you with those adamantium claws. Sometimes just leaving is the best idea, Mox.
Oh no, it's Throne Room.
He's gonna open a portal right off the rip. Look at this.
Well, we don't actually have. I wonder if Black So is going to sort of agree here after first fight. Of course, going to be going straight in with the Force alongside Networks. It's going to be a straight up bash at the throne of Odin himself. Already a grab coming through, and my goodness, Snake's going to have to pop the Cloak of Levitation. In comes the Metallic Bulwark and the regeneration runes as well. That's a huge amount of resources now forced from the side.
I'm not gonna lie,
of
I've been
OG.
learning a lot.
Can Fnatic really take advantage of this? Oh, a mislead from Tanuki might be all that they need. Etsu grabbed in. That might have been a force physics pull there from Line Pros. I did not see Melio getting involved. The free first cap as well for Fnatic. This is glorious for Fnatic fans.
Yeah, I mean, Lion Pro, whenever he's coming to situations, he's always looking for an opening force physics to tip the fight into Fnatic's favor, and now they're in a really good position. Strange is going to get grabbed, hooked on through by Etsu's bionic hook, so OG very much not giving this one up. They don't want to have to go for a full reset. Allow Fnatic to take advantage when they cross that first corner. It is going to be a God of Mischief, and the clobbering time comes on from Network, stalling OG's approach.
Tournament play, like, Bucky is like...
Ken's going to be deploying the invisible barrier here, matched by Sylvie. Etsu at the top. Nice repositioning of a barrier there from Line Pro. A little bit of self-heal, or self-peel rather. Etsu with the Kraken impact now. There's going to have to be waited out. There's the dance of the butterflies. Damage aplenty is going to be shared out amongst OG, but of course they come in together, and that means that they can share out the damage. A little bit of our damage, democratizing it still. Fnatic in control. Tanuki, a victim of Networks' stone haymakers. Etsu now the one under pressure, but that Rotterdam does so much damage against the thing that he can't stay in, and the mitigation from something like a metallic bulwark is not there.
Well, there's the group swap that we were expecting to come on through from Black Towers. Sneeze pushes up even more. They have point percentage to make up for. They need the stagger eliminations to stop Fnatic from regrouping, especially since Fnatic are going to be coming into this next fight with an awful lot of ultimates and a lot of follow-through potential. We could very well see a clobbering time into free strangling prison when Snaze and Enzo, even holding that shield up, is not going to be able to save them from Network's ultimate.
That's better.
Yeah, we've often seen clobbering time actually used as like that secondary control method, as you talked about, to really pave the way for another Vanguard to hit the ideal ultimate thereafter. A setup on a grab. Snake's already given that metallic bulwark. That's going to be the Eye of Agamotto. Only stun Sylvie for now, but Etsu's going to be able to turn this into reset after reset for the Kraken impact. Moving in after Line Pro. Headshot after that as well. Bro, he's a mechanical demon. Oh, Etsu, you're going to make me swoon, bro.
And Enzo, too, utilizes that Meteor M to make sure that any potential shutdown that could have occurred onto that Winter Soldier mid-Kraken impact is removed entirely. We've got two dueling mentalities. Fnatic are trying to do everything they possibly can to thread Networks into the backline, to land that Yahtzee Street Charge and the Earthbound status onto Etsu so that he can't Trooper's Fist avoid the follow-through damage when Fnatic turn their attention to try and take him down. And in the meantime, OG just have to survive and bait the Vanguards to walk forward for Etsu to get aggressive on the backline instead.
Invisible boundaries exchanged. Those Thorn Lash Walls are actually doing some work here in terms of pressuring that backline. Melio looking for a leap onto Tanuki, actually dodged by their own feral leap right now. Just playing their life, trying to survive as long as possible and force more out of Sylvie. In this case, it's going to be a clobbering time. That's four players stunned. Blackso building up to yet another strangling prism that's ready to go. That's going to be good for one. But Snaze grabbing the Dark Maelstrom, a drive-by on Melio. Dance of Butterflies now coming in on to all of these Vanguards. But of course, they just retreat into the regeneration domain of Loki. Is the perfect answer to Psylocke's ultimate, as she cannot take down the runes. Enzo just able to freely throw out Metallic Spike after Metallic Spike.
This was too easy for those other teams. Like,
it's going to be a recontest coming through. I think that one might actually be Blackso coming in from the off angle here.
Now they're just playing with them.
Pins. Tanuki says, "You're not welcome on my point, bruv. We're going to be taking this one back." Mud in the back. A last stand attempt here from Melio. Fnatic believe it to be winnable. Maybe they got a better read than I do, because Snaze is down. Enzo floats merrily above the point, dunks down onto Line Pro. Not a fan of the Don, clearly. But Etsu, he's going to be the final note on this one, surely, with that final use of the Kraken impact for resets are there, and Ken's cleaning up.
I need to see these stats, because I don't think Ken actually died. That Loki was up to absolute mischief the entire round. There was absolutely nothing that could be done. You saw it at the end. Like, Fnatic tried everything they could. That was why they went for that really aggressive play onto the point, because they were pulling so much attention. Like, Ken was having to turn and peel for Etsu, who at the same time was actually receiving Alex's shield to make sure that the damage didn't stick and they didn't lose that potential win condition of the Kraken impact coming on through. But in the meantime, Ken's just off on the sideline on that staircase. And yeah, it's actually Alex who hasn't died. Ken fell a singular time, but has doled out 14,896 healing, as well as 5,699 damage done. And that's sort of one of the problems that comes through when you have a Bucky who's always wanting to utilize those Loki copies for the Kraken impact resets. It does allow them to stay standing just a little bit more and get some more damage and heals off to the rest of their team as we head into the second round. And OG picked this map. They picked this map well, because they're currently one round up against Fnatic.
Yeah, it was a good read. The one thing that stood out to me in the stats was actually how low Blackso's damage was. effectively constrained when it came to these angles. God, Etsu, the mechanics are just so sublime. Nice tainted voltage there, slowing down multiple players. Spy check potentially for Monk Mudder. They are going to be given that embattled leap as well from the thing to get that additional damage reduction. A nice jump out there coming through from Tanuki. A touch of self-peel. Now going to be able to move in with Enzo. First cap could go the way of OG already, but in comes the engagement from Fnatic. It's going to be reinforced by Line Pro with the invisible boundary. For now, Etsu just backs off, trying to play it safe. Oh, it's a desperate play coming through from the side of the thing. And Monk Mudder just gets his soul pushed from his body by Alex. The force physics is exactly where it needs to be. Melio cooking here. Damage reduction achieved. Feral Leap as well. Berserker Rage. It's announced by Tanuki as Enzo takes to the sky, or Black So rather, to dunk onto Etsu. Maybe off the side of the map here. Seems like it's not going to be the case, but still the finish is given over by Tanuki. Doing it manually this time. Networks for last bastion of defense on this point as Melio marauds into the back, desperately wants access to these vanguards. Look at the healing coming through from Ken, but you can't heal through the last stand. Melio maxing out on the rage off these clones, and Fnatic play it patient.
I mean, that was so much desperation from both sides not to lose that first fight. Enzo even threw in the meteor M at the tail end of that fight with so many players down. And it's because the benefit is so much more than the punishment. OG have to worry now about walking into a retake situation where they don't get to scout out where the Psylocke is, where the Wolverine is, and they're going to be having flashbacks to Spider Islands, that 3-point charge headed by the thing. Melio already waiting for his moment, sees the Vanguard, misses the grab!
That's a critical opening now for OG. One less thing to worry about. Maybe they can initiate the lift with Networks just sticking close to that thing, presenting the threat. Etsu to the sky with a tainted voltage. That's going to be onto those Loki clones as well. And they're actually going to be backing up Etsu with the invisible boundary. Tanuki's able to do so much damage. Networks and Melio are already down. The front line decimated. Blackstone next to go. And the remainder of Fnatic try their best to just slink away into the night.
Yeah, Fnatic are running a composition which allows OG to walk a little bit further towards that point, as opposed to getting aggressive in their face when they're mid-fight plan. Tanuki scouts out where Monk Mudder is going to be on that. Psylocke deters the problem that this team has to deal with that next dance of the butterflies.
Tanuki doing his best to save the E here. Wants that damage reduction for when it's time to get a touch more aggressive. I believe that's another missed grab from Melio. Another threat.
He's just waiting.
And now it's going to be Tanuki's turn. Nicely avoided. Clobbering time. Grabs two. Tanuki forced to use the damage reduction this time around. But guess what? The last stand good to go. Can drag people out of that invisible boundary. Forces out the regeneration domain. His network just plays the peel. And Monk Mudder's getting himself a back cap. Come on back to try and check out what I'm doing. I've got myself a dance to show you. And the dance recital is attended by OG, but they're not going to be leaving. Final hits are grabbed. What a map flip from Fnatic.
Oh, what a masterclass in sleight of hand from Fnatic. Absolute magicians. Keep your eye on the fight that goes down on the front line. Never pay attention to what's happening on the point itself. And then the second you have to turn your head and deal with that Psylocke, instantly everyone from Fnatic gets the green light to go. Right into that front line as their mid-rotation with the thing in the Wolverine. Eye of Agamotto dive bombs in to the Invis boundary. Might be able to find the elimination if the E is built up fast enough, but it's not going to be able to if last stand comes on through from Melio, stopped in its tracks by Tanuki, who's able to win the Predator food chain off.
It did force out Alex's invisible boundary in the midst of nowhere, though. Oh, Monk Mudder super low. The healers weren't there to try and deal with this, so the AoE off of hitting the thing was able to grab the final blow. Surrounded by everyone. Networks, that was super brave, but brave is a charitable word. Let's put it that way. Fnatic are going to lose control of the point, and the mission area is flipped.
Oh, now they're going to have to walk into a retake situation. They can potentially send Monk Mudder onto one of those off lanes to have OG's head turn yet again so that they don't just get chipped down when they walk out of the spawn. Network's also going to be swapping on over to that strange portal, so no choke necessary. They've got a free ticket right onto the point instead, but OG, they backed off. They already pre-prepared their positioning for this, and they meet Fnatic the second the team dropped through.
Oh, with no thing, Tanuki's grab was going to be a major threat, but actually missed it right there. And it's going to be Melee who's doing slightly more. Snake's overwhelmed by the damage Sylvie brings to the table. It's going to be dueling invisible barriers. Plenty of healing for all and sundry. Networks finally grabbed here by Tanuki. And look at that. Etsu gets a reset off the back of it as well. Good combination of pressure from the duelist for last stand onto the strategist line. Desperately looking for Sylvie. And the hunter finds his mark. He's going to be walking home with a new fur coat today as Guardian fur of the highest regard, my friends. Fnatic force from a point, and OG, they picked their map well, bringing our series 1-1.
Tanuki's Wolverine finally got to do what it wanted to, and it was really interesting actually because they flipped the strategy on the head. Normally Wolverine melts down the Vanguard, right? You're looking for the kidnap opportunity. Your damage is scaled to the health pool of whoever you're scratch posting up against. But he goes for the strategists instead. He knows that there is value to be found in denying LOS for both Sylvie and LimePro. Sylvie, because Loki needs to be able to see those players to post up those clones and give them the opportunity of jumping into those regeneration domains. But for LimePro, if LimePro's out of the fight, if he's out of LOS, Fnatic's communication gets cut in half. And you can see the immediate focus fire from OG's side in terms of the eliminations they found against Fnatic's players. Like, yeah, the Vanguards are sitting at 8 deaths and Network's on 7, but Sylvie's on 4 and LimePro's on 6. There has been a target campaign to take the strategists down every single fight, and it is paying off for OG.
Losing the commander can be a real detriment to the command and control of these battles. Felt like Blackso was getting kind of frozen out of these fights as well. Had a lot of struggles on the crew, even on one of the better areas for him in terms of things like Throne Room that was swapped off to have access to the portals as well from the Doctor Strange. However, OG dealt with it well, and Etsu finally had his map. We were looking for the mechanical demon to come on out, and guess what? You're going to see plenty of him in these highlights.
That was a good match. Them boys came back. Them boys came back swinging. Alright, I'm going to try something real quick. I'm going to do this real quick. I'll do this, and then we'll do this. Do like a quick little reboot. Boom, boom. All right. That was a good match, man. I ain't gonna lie. Kind of makes me want to like play as Wolverine. Man. Now there was something I wanted to see on this stream, I think. I think I can go back. Hold on.
Remember the dust, the lights gripping tightly, trapping all those fighting souls, across the world I see you standing in my way. And remember,
I can't remember what player it was. Like he went off, like he popped off, and I cannot find it. First match was second match. I can't remember. This one dude, he like popped off. Like, bam! I was like, damn. I've never seen a Loki pop off like that ever. That was serious aside. Oh baby. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I did not buy this skin for Hulk. They do show the one. They do show the new one. I'll show you which one I did buy. I have that one. Oh, sure. I have that one.
Dodge this! Supernova!
I have that one too.
Oh yeah, coming through! My favorite time! Human Torch in the house, yo! You don't look so hot! Boom goes the meteor! No applause? Dodge this! I'm the brightest in the sky! Supernova! Firestorm! Flame on! Benjamin J. Grimm, reporting for duty.
I'm trying to get the one where you stun 4 of them. I haven't hit that one yet.
Let's rumble! I'll cover you. That's gonna bruise. Let's go, Logan. Ready to throw down.
Up the mic.
It's clobbering time! Booyah!
All right.
Mox, we promised a banger, and, well, Fate's not going to make me no liar, is it? We've got ourselves a 1-to-1 here between Fnatic and OG. We're guaranteed at least 4 maps, but I'd love to see it go to 5. Both of our teams are going to be adapting here with their map picks, because the loser of the last map gets to pick the next one.
Yeah, it seems like Fnatic are going to be taking us over to mid-turn. However, the problem that OG was able to put against this team wasn't in maps and wasn't in hero composition. They went straight for the head of that team. They targeted Lime Pro personally, and you better believe that he's not going to be happy about this. This is probably one of the stronger maps for the Invis woman. There's a lot of potential places for you to knock players off of high ground for things like, of course, physics. But if OG are able to continue targeting that leader and breaking down communications, they might still be able to walk away with a map that's favored to Fnatic, but could still lend an OG win.
Yeah, access to that backline can be everything, but OG, I don't think you can count them out of any map. Like our map draft, it's just small edges when it comes to these teams. Never is there, I think, a map where between these two teams, like, oh yeah, that's just Fnatic's free win map, or oh, that's where OG just dominate. Everything is going to come in inches and millimeters, and we're going to see if there's any changes to the draft. It felt like it was the same draft, but Fnatic won the first time. The same draft, OG won the second time, and Tanuki definitely getting a lot more value out of the Wolverine on the Odin's library in particular was really important. So we can see if Tanuki keeps that up.
Yeah, and Monk Manor as well, getting less value on the Psylocke that time around in comparison to when we saw the first outing today on Spider Islands. It feels very much like OG are falling into the rhythm that Fnatic is sort of testing them against, because Fnatic, a very aggressive team, they don't let you settle into any form of comfort. And you could see every single time. The first time, they managed to find that flip with the Psylocke going all the way around backcapping. But when they try to go for a fast portal recontest, OG were incredibly ready to be able to adapt to that sort of tempo change up. So potentially we are going to be seeing something maybe a little bit different this time around coming on through from those picks and ban phases.
Yeah, something a little bit different might be on the cards. Maybe you try and get rid of Black So's Groot, although you did deal with it very effectively on Throne Room, so I wouldn't be surprised if they allowed to continue going through. Of course, there's always the option of first banning Wolverine. Before any protects come through, both teams get a ban.
If they're smart,
well, now
if they're smart, they would ban Wolverine
a little bit better.
Maybe
smart. Melio's more comfortable
we'll see if
being that
smart.
flex. Obviously, and like if you ban Wolverine as well, maybe that forces a protect of the Star-Lord coming through from the side of OG rather than protecting someone like the Venom. Or if they do protect the Venom, like you can just kind of freeze out most of the hero pool of Tanuki. I don't think we're going to see him playing the Black Panther.
By the way, I'm pulling for
Marvel Rivals EMEA Invitational Losers Finals.
European team.
I mean, Fnatic, though, probably don't want the Star-Lord because we've seen them stumble when they have to go up against the revive strategy coming on through that we got to see so much of in Asia's run of their own Marvel Rivals Invitational, where you have the Adam Warlock, the Mantis, then sometimes you go for a third strategist and something like a Loki, but it's always for the duelist, the role of Star-Lord, so that you can have those cocoons, have that synergy, and have everyone coming back into the mix. So not only do you have to plan for the first stage of a fight, you've got to plan for a second stage of the fight, and then the revive strategy coming on through. But it looks like it's going to be the exact same that we've seen so far. Monk Mud is hella removed, Enzo's Venom targeted. This might be where we see the change up come through, though. No, Fnatic's still going to be protecting that Groot. For Black Sao, is OG going to also be going for the Tanuki Wolverine protection? Because, like you said, they find far more value of it on that map of domination. And yeah, there it is.
Yep, getting rid of that. Last ban, going to be Luna once again. We want to keep that Namor with the chilling charisma extra spawn off of the table. And this time, the target ban on Etsu. This is a good area for Storm, though, Moxie. And Etsu's a very powerful Storm.
Yeah,
but we can also see something like the pivot to Psylocke, which we've seen from Monk Mother as well.
I don't know.
Storm very, very strong on this map. Lots of verticality, lots of terrain and buildings for the Storm to just sort of dip in between and out of. And as well as that, the damage boost. If you're fighting a team that doesn't have a Storm and you do, that 12% push in terms of your damage makes a massive difference, not just in terms of pick potential with time to find those eliminations, but also the amount of time it takes to build those first ultimates coming on into the mix.
My favorite map.
As a Line Pro, are we going to be coming out of spawn with the rocket? The BRB station is down, and then it's probably going to be a swap up onto that invisible woman. I want to say Fnatic are going to try for the close hold, though, because every single time we've seen a team try and attempt it on Midtown, where they go for that little pocket on the left side of the attacker's spawn door, it doesn't really work out all that well for them, especially since all of the walls around are very easy to break.
First things first, if you're on the,
you can really kind of carve your own path with those breakable walls. Being able to kind of generate an ideal location for yourself is the part and parcel of Groot when it comes to these games. Of course, there is going to be some early poke here. The question is whether we're going to see these Vanguards commit to stopping the convoy that early.
Get the convoy out.
Psylocke is going to be the second duelist for both of these teams, so we're not going to have a Storm. What we are going to have is a Kidnap coming on through, leading into an immediate elimination onto Black Side. That's why Rocket is played at this level. It's so that you can give that super jump on over to your Wolverine players, and they can take those Vanguard sky high.
Great force physics coming through there from Alex as well to get the peel. The same not coming through from Line Pro in this case. Enzo, I believe, is stolen away momentarily, potentially by Melio. But at the moment, it's full retreat for Fnatic.
Yeah, Tanuki's found the angle too that Black Star was going to pop up on. Those walls having to be expanded, making sure that the Wolverine doesn't get to close up onto a Vanguard when the strategists aren't there. He's got the corner too to start scratching away with that hitbox, still obscured, as well as the Guardian Shield. And he gets the catch onto Melia. That's going to force the Bulwark from the Magneto, as well as the regen domain. Now coming through from the side of OG to make sure that the Wolverines don't get traded.
Lie. You can be like in a groove.
Luna reverse now. It's time for the Vanguard to step up onto this. Melia already so low. Snakes is so accurate with the daggers of Dinak. Stabs into the heart of Melio. And now it's going to have to be a troublesome time. Oh, the solo ultimate here from Etsu. Tries to force for disengage. And guess what? Networks is the only one inside of the AoE. So it's easy as it gets to just focus in that damage. Playing with the edge of the Dance of the Butterflies AoE is one of the things that really sets apart a good solo to get maximum burst.
Yeah, Etsu as well was utilizing that ultimate. But 2 birds, 1 stone, because Etsu, we heard his health are actually tanking to the critical state. So he utilized his ultimate to be untargetable in terms of any follow-up damage, buying his team the time to get that payload all the way to the first checkpoint, but also giving them the space to make sure that he gets fully healed back on up when we head into this next recontest. Early God of Mischief comes on through. It's not actually going to have an ultimate immediately, so that the Loki can just extend that transformation window as long as possible. Now the Invis boundary is going to be affected so that it can cover the Groot's approach with that Strangling Prison surprise, and Fnatic strangling all of the momentum from OG's attack.
Oh, Dance of the Butterflies, that last thing in here. One last thing coming through from Monk Mother. Still no final blows gathered. This is a brave usage of the Meteor M right here. Turns around and just dunks on Monk Mother. Great intel right there. The information is strong. Snails, of course, trying their best to just do some admin. A delivery there from Tanuki. Line Pro brought into the midst of OG, and that means that the commander is gone. Blackso is drawn back in by the force physics. The bad fights that are being forced by OG here with these repositioning utilities are crazy.
Yeah, and you have to remember too, OG have all of the confidence to keep this fight going because the Loki expended regeneration domain to stave off the damage from Enzo's Meteor M. So every single stagger that Fnatic finds here has to come on through immediately to stop OG from getting all of this distance, because they're almost in final fight territory for the second checkpoint. Blackstar comes in with a massive seed bomb, managing to connect onto Tanuki. Regeneration domain also coming on through, because at the same time, Snake's got the go-ahead to dive off the backline with the Ivaga.
Check out that Ironwood wall as well to try and peel for Line Pro when they were stunned, making sure that Dark Maelstrom couldn't hit both body and soul. A Feral Leap comes through, but Melio is punished for the audacity of it. Line Pro finds himself outside of the support ultimates, and therefore the strategists can't keep themselves healed up. Strangling Prison does considerable damage, but guess what? The Invisible Woman once again raises that boundary, and the healing is too much. These strategists for OG seem flawless right now.
Yeah, Etsu as well is doing such a good job using the Dance of the Butterflies. Now we're going to see if Monk Mother finds the same value, pins them directly into Monk Mother's follow-up damage. What a last stand from Melio. The pass is also going to kick in, making sure that Melio does not go down to his mirror. And Fnatic, off of that last stand, find the ground to stand on and hold on to B.
Kurosawa movie looking ending right there between Etsu and Monk Mother dashing through each other, but when they both come to a halt, one has fallen. Fnatic finally find themselves some stability.
Melio utilizes the jump to just spy check up that left high ground side, scouts out the approach of the opposing Wolverine. And that's going to be huge because Tanuki is waiting to pinch on in once the rest of his team find the inroad.
All right, Meteor M right on top of Line Pro. Cancels the invisible boundary. An ultimate gone away, and Monk Mother just forced to flee. Alex, we'll call that one skill. It could have been luck, but in the end, the result is the same. Great speculative fire coming through from the Invisible Woman to make sure that there's no chance of a last-second contest, and we're heading on to C.
Everyone on side of Fnatic making sure to disengage cleanly. OG
this right
very
here
much
be
wants to try and chase with potential staggers, which would buy them even more distance. But on
might
C,
be the middle, but this right
all
here is the
Fnatic need to
hardest
do is win one singular fight. It takes time to set up the Wolverine and for the Psylocke to get close enough to do any damage, to have lasting impact. Time that Fnatic needs to be able to recoup, given how quickly OG were able to see themselves forward beat. Dance of the Butterflies is on the board for Etsu, but Snaze is on the ground, currently having to spend a lot of his team's resources to peel him out.
Etsu looking towards the back. Dance of the Butterflies. You see that regen domain's already been used. And Sylvie, nice mechanics from Etsu. Can you get away from this is the question. Only networks is within it. So that's all the damage concentrated onto the Magneto. And Etsu don't even need no ultimate, bro. He's crazy when it comes to the shurikens and to the crossbows. Nice play in the back.
That's one of the problems, though, with the Dance of the Butterflies. It's such a huge AoE, and it spreads the damage. So all of those players from Fnatic took a big step backwards, which, when OG were able to push forward, made them so easy to just overwhelm in terms of that numbers brawl. Tanuki already taking over the high ground on that left side, making sure that Monkmona doesn't get a drop-down angle. Sylvie's going to have to save time for this defense, coming on through with a God of Mischief copy. Not quite sure what it was. Probably going to be a strategist. Yeah, there it is. Invis Boundary to see themselves safely on board the Dance of the Butterflies. Also coming up from Monkmona. Snades gets aggressive, but the bulwark from the Magneto is good. And it keeps the strategist standing.
The peel is strong. Melio into the back, grabs so many with the last stand. Preying on them tonight. Alex and Ken fall on down. Monkmurder ready to clean up the rest. Utilizing both dashes. There's no escape. But who needs it when you got the accuracy of Monkmurder?
Now they just have to spy check where OG's players are going to be popping on up. And you can see that Monkmurder, he's getting ready to look for that lane control and figure out where exactly Etsu is going to be trying to drop down. They spot the Psylocke, they spot out and force the stealth, and Dash is already burnt. Etsu incredibly low, but still has that ultimate, that win condition for OG to move forward, and Fnatic are giving up so much space.
New hot space here for Monkmurder, trying to give away some space so that maybe Monkmurder can slide in afterwards. Oh, an attempt at a big grab there coming through from Tanuki, and that's going to be the Dance of the Butterflies up in the high ground. It might will be focused onto a player, but it seems like for now everyone from Fnatic's been able to move away. Up to the top goes Networks with the Meteor Ram trying to dunk it down. It seems like Ken went low, but it's going to be able to survive this one. Finally, Networks finishes their own meal here. Monkmurder descends from the heavens with the Dance of the Butterflies. 3 final hits delivered. Oh, goes the Wolverine as it's a grab onto the remaining Vanguard. No seconds remain, and despite quite the pace on A,
that
OG
is how you
last.
stop a team.
That's the problem when you have the Wolverine and the Psylocke. If you ever have to play into a retake, especially on C, the amount of distance that Fnatic were giving up, making sure to just bait the Psylocke in, having to have them cross even further into more damage, more potential time for them to get scouted and spotted and sent packing, was absolutely huge. Like you said, when the Dance of the Butterflies came through from Etsu, said it found so little because it was forced out of a desperation play. Etsu was isolated from the rest of his team, had no LOS on his strategist, had to burn the ultimate to keep himself standing in the fight, because with the time bank that OG had access to, there was no way they were getting a clean regroup. They needed the numbers to be able to brawl through what would come after that initial slugfest, when all of the respawn points are in Fnatic's favor because they're right outside the doorstep.
They're just right there. The convenience of it. Networks. Going to be moving over now onto the thing. Trying to deny opportunities for picks to Tanuki, but right now I'm all about Etsu again. The Etsu heads, we're rising up. I've been very happy to see the move over back towards Psylocke within this Bucky ban framework. Getting rid of the Winter Soldier has just unleashed the Shinobi.
Yeah, it feels very much like Fnatic are targeting both of the duelists. They first tried to target Tanuki. Now they're trying to target Etsu, but they might want to move that strategy when we head into the next map. They're going to be waiting 10 seconds for the strange portal to be down before they can move out of spawn currently. Actually, they've been able to find a sliver of space around it, but that might have just been bait to set Tanuki up to get a first grab.
Big grip there from Tanuki, use of a damage reduction as well. I believe that Monkman has actually been able to move past now. Yes, heard up on the top. Wow, what an ambush. Monkman super low. One hit will do it, and Etsu manages to connect. A huge little bit of a bait and a coup from the Loki. Nice push as well from Line Pro. What a wombo combo coming through from Fnatic, getting rid of that Vanguard, because guess what? Monkman is already back.
Yeah, Networks too, rolling out on the thing to get incredibly aggressive on that front line. Doesn't have to worry about being displaced by Tanuki. Fnatic can just brawl and get aggressive with the numbers this time around in their favor. Something to note, though, is that Snades is on the Doctor Strange. There is going to be a portal recontest potentially coming on through from the side of OG. They went for the spawn close hold to get as many fights as possible to build up to those ultimates. And this game is one and done by those ults. It might actually be one and done by a fastball special coming on through from Networks. Can he hit a home run? Nope. The Magneto lives.
Instantly knocked back by the fully charged mag cannon right there. The Cosmic Fastball does at least give that Berserk stay over to the Wolverine. Movement abilities disabled, of course, within that area of effectively anti-street charge, make sure that everyone's earthbound. It's a very aggressive play here from Sylvie, already using the invisible boundary off the back of that clone God of Mischief. And look at this, all the brawl going the way of Fnatic. An attempt to try and turn this around from Ken and Alex, who have double strategist ultimates available, and it is going to allow for a last-second stall. Maybe Snaze could portal back, I'm not sure. Clobbering time here, instantly sends out Snaze. Welcome back, and we'll see you later. Alex under pressure. Once again, Networks can just do so much damage here. The brawling power strong. Mother on the top, coming through with the dance of the butterfly. Sylvie's actually isolated here by the last stand. Is going to be once again thrown into the midst of the enemy team. The passive's gone, and so too is the remainder of the life force of Logan. And Blixo ascends to the skies with the Meteor M. Etsu forced out here. Muckmudder going for the raw mechanical duel. Alex brought low and lane low as well by the Magneto, marauding in the back line. The touch is going to be too hard to handle. The Agamotto grabs one. It's only Melio though. The stun is good to deal with. A nice clone projection coming through from the Loki. Brings up the regen domain, and right now it's all over but the crying. This should be a cap.
I mean, Fnatic starting to really expect all of the wombo combos coming on through from the duelist lineup of OG, Tanuki and Etsu, both playing off of each other's ultimates. Etsu trying to send everyone packing with the dance of the butterfly, sending them waiting into the arms of Tanuki with that last stand. But Fnatic just live and sustain the ultimates before coming in with their own in that second stage. And Naux gets another clobbering time through the shield. That's going to be regeneration domain forced. And everyone from OG forced to just have to hold on to the space that they have, the little space that they have as the payload continues to move entirely uncontested.
Oh my goodness, that's such a good place to try and force that invisible barrier. Yeah, Blackso can't be killed when he's invisible within that boundary. And Networks is gone as well. There's still all free push though for Fnatic. I'm going to try and call this one. It's an attempt at a disengage, but Esu's got good speed here. Can try and catch Line Pro on the disengage. Has to worry about that force physics pull.
Yeah, but they do actually worry about it and counter it. Etsu receives the bulwark from the Magneto so that he can't be grabbed on in to Line Pro, and OG are actually going to be able to button down the hatches and hold on to this high ground temporarily. Etsu also waiting in position for the health bar to start falling lower and lower, potentially for that regeneration domain to get forced out in poke as well before the dance of the butterflies hits home and tries to find a partner.
Homework wasn't done though. Regeneration domains was still available, and so that was easily healed through. Enzo to the sky with the Meteor M. That was a little bit of a deep throw right there. Maybe hoping to grab Sylvie or something. Munkrider punishes this one, but now it's Etsu's turn. Strategists in sight. Line Pro just disappears. Seems to be the best idea here. Stays falling super low. Combined with the clobbering time, this might be a little bit too much pressure. Leaps to the sky. Finally gets the impact onto Snaze right at the last moment. Tanuki's going to be able to stall out Cart, but not much more than that. In the back, the Loki is a little bit of an issue. Ken needs to be reduced to rubble, and indeed they will be.
Damn.
OG are going to have another fight, and they're going to be able to have access to that Eye of Agamotto as well. But Networks with that clobbering time is going to be a problem for the Vanguard to have to worry about. They can't line themselves up for the Fink's ultimate to hit multiple of them. They have to take an off-angle approach, but that's going to mean that Munkmudder gets to spot his mirror in the lane check.
Because they're almost all ult now.
Playing an aggressive game here. Clobbering time right on top of Alex. Is the healing going to be there? Of course not. Ken stand as well. Both of the strategists caught by Networks. What a play. Unreal timing, and what aggression is rewarded.
And they hit the check.
Absolutely huge. Forcing, again, Etsu gets spy checked on the right side, has to back on off. And that's the understanding that the strategists are going to have to turn their heads and heal up the Psylocke, who was pretty close to an ultimate, would have had access to it if the fight had been stalled out that much longer, which allows Networks to bait their position and move forward into that clobbering time, into that invis boundary, and catch them on out. And that now means that Ken is going to be the thing that OG have to try and rely on to keep this point stalled on out a little bit longer for Tanuki to find any form of sticking power. It's going to be an Eye of Agamotto starting things off. Doesn't catch on to anyone though. Good bulwark comes on through from Black Sow right as Snaze lands to make sure that no one gets CC'd.
Yeah, Nemo chooses their Yatsu charge to become immune to controlling effects as well. However, inside that invisible boundary, no one can hear you scream or see you fall. Etsu comboed out of invisibility. Mukmudder cooking with the dance of butterflies for regen domains once again. The homework's not really done, so it's not too much gained off the back of the ultimate. And Black Sal still has the Meteor M to play with here, but it's all disengaged right now for OG, trying to bait in these Vanguards.
There's no regen.
Blackso takes up to the skies. Oh, what? Grabs Ken out of nowhere. Unreal play. Big clobbering time. Melio's there too, looking for a grab. Finds himself a Magneto, of course. Knocked back for a moment. Knocked back again as the Metallic Bulwark recharges the Mag Cannon. Maybe Melio gets caught on the exit, though.
But Etsu absolutely gets caught out of stealth by Fnatic's players. Invis Boundary is going to be invested. OG spawns right there. They're going to hope that the healing is going to be enough, but the Wolverine's last stand pinions them out, and Melio is scratching away at every single potential win condition OG have.
Oh, Weevil Underwood looking guy right there from Melio. Say goodbye to your guards, OG.
Here we go.
Melio just going to clean up whatever remains right here. A good turnaround from Fnatic, picking Midtown. And clearly they were very comfortable with this one. The pivot onto the Psylocke
That's what's sad,
so many dividends.
They won.
As you were saying, that line with the Wolverine, just as the rage builds, the hairline just gets longer and longer and longer. But now I imagine he also gets a little bit of facial hair growth. Just so long, so he has a little mustache to be able to twiddle every single time he's able to grab someone out of the strategist ultimates with the last stand, because what an evil genius. We got to see Melio at work. 31 eliminations, but Mukmudder 42, 21,900 damage done by that. So Etsu did outpace him, coming on for 23,000 damage, but you can see the difference in terms of what was meaningful and not, given the fact that Mukmudder converted his to 42 elims, and Etsu is sitting at nearly half of that, only coming on through with 22.
Yeah, really good efficiency off of the damage done, even though it was fairly similar when it came to those raw stat lines. Oh, Mox, I am so excited to see how OG are going to adapt to this, but to give you some insight into what they're trying to adapt to, check out these highlights.
Okay, so we do have another map. Sweet! Oh my god, this is going to be an epic grand final. Kind of makes me want to play some Rivals right now. Damn. I kind of thought OG was going to take that, but they did not. What they need to do is they need to protect their healers more. I mean, their healers are like literally healing for their lives. Their their tanks were doing their, yeah. Gotta give your healers a chance to actually heal you and stay alive.
Do you remember who you really are? Tell me that you are still the only one for me. I'll be waiting for
Gamma shield. Oh my god. I'm very curious to see what the gold skin looks like.
Dodge this! Supernova!
Because I think my plan is I'm just gonna leave my rank where I'm at right now, and then when seasons end, obviously we fall, and then season 2, I'm just going full blown ranked. Where I'm just going. I might either disband my faction that I have right now because like nobody's in it, or probably just join a faction who's like all about tournaments and shit. I really want to do tournaments. I really want to do this. There's lots of money at stake.
Human Torch in the house, yo! You don't look so hot! Boom goes the meteor!
Boom goes meteor.
No applause? Dodge this!
Supernova.
I'm the brightest in the sky! Supernova! Firestorm!
That is one of the best alts so far in this game. Saying.
Benjamin J. Grip, reporting for duty. Too easy. Coming through. Let's rumble. I'll cover you. That's gonna bruise. Let's go, Logan. Ready to throw down. It's clobbering time! Oh yeah!
Return from your intermission pee breaks, wash your hands and grab your popcorn because Mox, this is absolute cinema. 2-1 in favor of Fnatic right now. And OG, they get to choose where we're going next in order to try and turn this series into a 5-mapper.
Yeah, well, while you're doing all of that, make sure you're also spy checking Psylocke's rotations and locations because, oh my goodness, Mukmada was running circles on Midtown every single time. Like, even if the Dance of the Butterflies wasn't finding eliminations, it was still finding value. It was forcing things like the Loki regeneration domain out early, and that's like what Fnatic really like to do. They're a very pub stompy team. They will kick you and continue to kick you when you're down after using ultimate after ultimate after ultimate to make sure that you do not get the opportunity to catch your breath. And that can work really well when we head into domination maps, or if you go for those kinds of fights and you just sink your entire ultimate economy into one of them and you don't win it, it can tank your chances of taking the entire map, something that OG's team are going to be banking on because they're taking us to another domination map. They won the previous one. Can they pull it off yet again to continue the series and give us that potential map 5?
Yeah, it really seems like domination has been where OG's bread has been buttered. It's really where you can... It's It does lend itself to how Fnatic have long teamfight plans, because obviously the ults carry over from one domination map to the next, but it also allows for these duelist players to pop off in the tight environments where you're not playing down lane as much. Really gives a lot of opportunities for things like a Bucky, like a Wolverine to pop off. Question is here, are we going to see Bucky make it to the fourth? The Winter Soldier last time was banned out by Fnatic. Evidently, they weren't as worried about the Star-Lord on Midtown. Not quite so good a Star-Lord map. The longer lanes mean that it's a little bit more difficult to find those flanks. Maybe we see a protect of the Winter Soldier here coming through from OG?
Potentially. I mean, Kraken Impact is a very strong ultimate, but so too is just the ability to bionic hook and then turn your camera and trooper fist them directly into enemy territory where they just have absolutely no chance of being bailed out by the rest of the team. Or if you are able to save your teammate, it comes at the cost of every single resource that you have available. So you lose the second stage of that fight. It's definitely going to be very telling, though, when we do head into that ban and pick selection, whether or not there is going to be a change to a draft coming on through, especially since OG just lost the Psylocke mirror match.
I mean, yeah, it's so dangerous having lost the Psylocke mirror match. Like, it felt like Etsu was able to mechanically match Monk Mudder, but it felt like the team response to the Psylocke dives was a little bit better coming through from the side of Fnatic, and that was reflected in the amount of final hits and eliminations that could really be gained out of a similar stat line from the side of Etsu.
Yeah, it felt as well like Fnatic were able to do more when the Psylocke was like even just on rotation before even hitting into that backline. We always got to see networks on the thing getting incredibly aggressive and opening up those spaces that if you turned your head to deal with the Psylocke, it opened yourself up to be feeling more damage coming through from the thing and vice versa, as opposed to OG where when we did see Etsu try to make those kinds of plays, it felt like the team went either in position to be able to catch them or to take advantage and look for a potential more valuable trade, because we didn't see a backline trade coming through. Every single time the Psylocke met, it always felt like Fnatic were the ones coming out on top of the duel.
That is true.
I often felt like it was the case. Oh, that's going to be a first ban there of the Venom. Obviously, on the Eldritch Monument, Venom has some excellent dives, which can really be shut down. We're always going to be basically perma-banning the Hela because you can't match Monk Mudder with Tanuki or Etsu. As far as I'm aware, they are going to go for Protect on the Winter Soldier, which means that now you can ban out Tanuki on the Wolverine if you're feeling, but Melio is also pretty comfortable on that.
They
so
might
maybe
protect
just ban out
him.
Star-Lord instead.
I mean, Melio has been doing work on the Wolverine, and it also puts more pressure on the strategists and their ultimate. So it's going to be a protection coming through onto the group to set up for Black. So could potentially also look to make it harder for that Bucky to find the pop-off potential. Things like the walls making it harder for Bionic Hook to find their targets. And again, they're going to go after Tanuki, limiting the hero pool that he has available. So 100% they're trying to force OG to take the Wolverine mirror match. And Tanuki, without access to that Star-Lord, has no choice. OG could not take the Wolverine out of the pool.
I mean, I don't particularly mind forcing the Wolverine out of Tanuki. In many cases, Wolverine is kind of too difficult to handle. But I think Fnatic have everything they need to deal with this. They have the Force Physics from Limepro, who's essentially perma-picking the Invisible Woman, and Networks has a very strong thing, which I don't think is going to be matched by OG. So you kind of force Tanuki to play this Wolverine no matter what, because what are you going to do? Go up against Wolverine from Melio without a thing on your team? No, you've got to at least present the threat so that you can try and force Fnatic to deal with what Tanuki's bringing to the table.
Yeah, it looks like OG are going to be opting for the double shield approach of Snaze, going to be opting for that Doctor Strange, Enzo on that Magneto. In the meantime, Fnatic going to be putting Blackstyle onto that protected Groot, and something to note as well is that Blackstyle's Groot has been doing absolute work every single time we've seen the Strangler Prison come through. It's always had impact, not just in the amount of players that it's able to pick up, but the fact that he always, after that CC immunity is running on out, uses one of those walls directly in the middle of where those players are, so that if someone like Ken tries to drop a regeneration domain, it actually gets lifted up above the area of effects of all of the players left below on that low, so they can still get taken down. Strange Portal going to be coming out from both of these teams. And now it becomes a matter of which Wolverine can find more value, as OG don't actually portal directly into the high ground. They're going to be putting themselves onto the low and trying to bait Fnatic to drop down and come to them.
Oh, Magmada catching so much poke early. And think about the force physics pulls here. And it's time to try and grab Blackso, who manages to just body block himself on those walls. And, well, without Magmada, this should be an easy first cap for OG.
Loki's just having a
I
field
like
day.
the support coming through from OG. The understanding that the pull distance in is so much shorter than the push distance out. So as long as OG kept the distance between themselves and Line Pro didn't have the advantage of being able to grab one of these players out of position and Blacks out to wall them off to isolate them. And now with the point in control of OG, they can just continue to kite.
Well, they
It's a low ground offense this time. Big grab onto networks. Oh, Tanuki was lurking. What is this coming through from Melio? No force physics was available. And it seems like Sylvie is going to be punished for this. I imagine that one was actually a Barnet Cook coming through from Etsu, who already has a cracking impact, by the way. Monkmud is sitting at 41%. Admittedly, it's not been a particularly long run for him. And there's a stagger coming across. Oh, this is brutal. Yeah, I'll deal with you later. I'm just going to deal with this Loki clone. Bro's doing his homework right now. He can't even race it off the edge. The map hasn't moved yet.
Yeah, the window is still up. That window only pulls away once the map has passed the 50% mark. And now the passage of percentage is going to activate that map to change the door frame to differ and Fnatic with ultimates. But the strategists will be able to walk forward, but because they lost the poke duel, Enzo and Snake is able to absorb so much pressure coming on through from Monk, Mother, and Melly, not able to find the opening. It's actually OG overall in terms of advantage for that economy.
Insane.
Don't know if there's even been a pick yet from the side of Fnatic. Not their greatest map so far here on the hangar. Tanuki once again prowls around the top and attempts to grab. Oh, get back over here, says Alex. Raised up as an invisible boundary to the top goes a Meteor M, as well as the cracking impact as well. Many players affected with that culling debuff, but it's like everyone for now is well taken care of by the strategists. Snays disengages. Aggressive play here off the back of that invisible boundary, and once again going to be matched up to a sky. Goes Blackso. Oh, big block, and that's a huge play off the back of the Eye of Agamotto as well. Line Pro found Mugmotto. The culling debuff has done absolute bits here for the side of Fnatic. A quick reset onto Tanuki, who gets himself a grab off the back of the Feral Leap, and that actually takes out networks. This is nowhere near as clean as it should be for Fnatic, considering that 3 players have already fallen from the side of OG. And Monkmeadow actually has to flee away, pick up the mini pack instead, get a touch more healing, a disengagement coming through from Tanuki. Grabs Blackso! What's happened to Fnatic here? How do these things keep falling through the cracks? Yeah, there's going to be a grab, and remember, OG are still in control. Snake has returned in the midst of all of this. Networks has finally come through on the thing. Line Pro's down as well. This is an absolute routing of Fnatic. At this point, it's just free low for the side of OG. They've got another copy if they need it, but they're just farming up for the next fight, I reckon. Melio can't touch, and Fnatic.
Oh, that wasn't free kills. Those free
No one
kills.
could take down Tanuki.
Free kills.
No one could take down Tanuki.
For real,
I mean,
homie,
Alex
homie
did
just
such a
popped
good
up.
job too. Like that
Popped up right when
invis
you
boundary
needed to.
comes on up,
Like, fuck it, I'm
and it's
going up.
immediately attempted to be countered by the Magneto with the Meteor M. And Alex just double jumps outside of his own ultimate, so that the door frame, that overhang of the vertical catwalk above where the point actually is played from, catches the full meteor impact, and the invis boundary stays standing, and it forces Fnatic to have to get so much more aggressive, put so many more ultimates sinking into the fight that they just didn't have any of the resources left over to commit in. Like, it's an attempt. Monkmother gets the hook with the bionic grab onto Enzo, but the Magneto hadn't been pressured before then, so the Bulwark is up to be able to keep him standing, and then Tanuki's claws are still chipping away. Ken's just off on the sideline, entirely uncontested, because Fnatic's sole focus is on the point itself in that overtime push. And now, like you said, all they've done is donate to OG's ultimate economy for this first fight. Etsu's got a cracking impact. Monkmother will have one of his own, and it is going to be a matchup, a duel between the two Winter Soldiers to see who's going to be able to take this fight first.
Well, thus far, Monk Murder has had the more effective Kraken impact, but the remainder of the team hasn't been able to really get that much off the back of it. 2 Gods of Mischief.
That's what you
just
don't
going to instantly bring up the invisible boundaries. Everyone feeling the healing right now, and there's going to be plenty of staying power on the point. I believe there was a kidnap towards the back. Enzo going to be doing so much damage off the back of this poke. An attempt to try and take out the thing. Indeed, the card is given over. That's a reset given to the side of Etsu, who gets yet another one inside of this invisible boundary. Still there's some staying power toward the side of Fnatic, but with their vanguards retreating, they have to give over the point gap to OG.
So potentially a free Kraken impact comes on through from Fnatic. OG had to contribute both strategist ultimates in that fight. Tanuki's got a last stand. Might be the turning factor, but Fnatic know that they have the advantage into this next one. Clobbering time sets it up. The regen domain so that Monk Murder can keep firing again and again and again. He's getting so many resets. Snaze answers Fnatic's aggression with an ultimate of his own.
Oh my god, that must have been a huge push onto the Eye of Agamotto that came through. I just saw Snaze in Narnia after casting that ultimate. Maybe it was Black Sos. It seems like both of those were used in the fight while we were watching Monk Murder pop off. This was a fantastic use of the Kraken impact. For the first time this series, Fnatic are in control.
I mean, what a setup. All of the resources was given over to that Winter Soldier. And now Networks is in position to just disrupt the approach coming on through from OG, buying them time, setting Melio, who gets to come through with a last stand, which is absolutely not going to be the last bit of point percentage accrued for Fnatic, because they're still in control of this round.
The melee of finesse is crazy as well. Notice how he got around the back using the right click to be able to do the last stand in the correct direction, pull everyone into his team, just like the Feral Leap. Excellent play.
Blacks out, just poking away, trying to build up the Eye of Agamotto. Dropped the shield, so does get pulled forward by Alex's Force Physics, however. Strange, even taking the damage from the Psionic Vortex, is still going to be standing. It has allowed Alex, though, to hit the Invis boundary in this next fight, as Etsu gets taken down before he can go for the Kraken impact.
Etsu womboed even inside the invisible boundary. Enzo, though, still putting out a bunch of pressure here. Going to drag everyone forward. Monk Murder down as well. Now, even when it comes through the picks, looking for that invisible woman down into cover goes an attempt to try and stop the clobbering time. And that's going to free everyone of the stun after Enzo deals with that Vanguard. Nice force physics once again. And there's the counter pull coming through. It's going to be an escape for Melio, yes. But the remainder of Fnatic are going to start retreating. Coming down onto a point is going to be Black So on that Doctor Strange. Remember, he's super vulnerable. Man, Alex is on top of it when it comes to these force physics. It feels like the Wolverine can't get anything done right now, and Enzo's there with the punish and attempt to grab. Nice quick shield coming through from Black So, but does not have it for the Rotterdam shots thereafter. Networks are just putting their body on the line. The rocks are coming through, but it's rock and stone that is broken to the bone as the thing is dislodged from their perch, and OG are back in control.
OG able to hold on to the Kraken impact the entire time too. Etsu just threads the line, manages to go all the way onto that left side flank and keep pressuring the strategists. again, Sylvie and Lypro having to deal with it, and that weakens the staying power, the anchor potential for Networks and Blackstar. Networks without the strategist LOS is just going to be a pinching cushion coming on through for the members of OG. Etsu still got this ultimate. Fnatic do have the invis boundary, but if the bionic hook is good from the Bucky, that's not going to matter. Etsu's looking for it, doesn't find it, goes directly into the middle of it, uses the Kraken impact to dodge out of the last stand. It goes directly into the back once more.
Do it again, do it again, do it again, do it again.
On the clones, Etsu actually just backs away for now. The danger is too prevalent, and OG, they're still in control. Tanuki grabs himself a tank right there for a moment. For last stand, it got themselves, I believe, just an invisible woman, and the follow-up's not there. OG is still in control, and now they can chase down the remainders of Fnatic. This is all going to come down to one last fight, but Fnatic used most of their resources.
It has to be Saggers coming on through from the side of OG. They're so far behind in Ultimate Economy. They also have to be able to push all the way up so that Fnatic don't have the opportunity to portal past them, because Monk Murder and Networks are going to have clobbering time to set up the Kraken impact. Networks is actually all the way back, trying to use the Yazi Street Charge to go onto the point and activate the overtime, but Snaze takes him down, and OG yet again walk away successfully with a domination round, and they survive in this series.
the Yancy Street Charge interrupted by raw damage. 200 over health is not enough to stand up to the daggers of Danak from Snaze, who is having himself a series. But Ken walks away with the MVP. There's a reason we laud this guy's Loki as one of the best in the EMEA, and therefore the world. Here's a quick look at the stat totals. Between Ken and Alex, only falling 3 times is kind of wild. But Tanuki, the survivability, only falling twice, took 13k damage.
Yeah, absolute insane numbers coming through from him. OG able to really take advantage of everything that Tanuki does. Like, if Tanuki is taking all of the heat, if Fanatics players are having to worry about whether Wolverine's popping up, Etsu gets a free run. That was the coordination that was missing on Midtown. Both of the duelists were talking to each other, establishing the angles, so that every single time Fnatic walked into them, if they cleared one, the other duelist got that green light to go ahead and be a problem every single retake.
If you ain't communicating, you're pinging like
we
no
were
other.
promised cinema. And, well, Marvel Rival Scorsese has delivered. It's a 5-mapper. We always thought the lower bracket finals was going to be the one, and maybe our teams are going to be going in hot enough to get themselves a map off of Virtus Pro. And if you can get yourself a map, you can get yourself a series. We've got one on our hands, and we'll see you for the finale right after these highlights.
Here we go. Good stuff, man. Got one more match for this final, and then freaking forgot on their bracket. I think they've got like 2 more or 1 more to get to the grand final. No, I think this is the bottom bracket, because I think they got like another one. But I wanted to stream this one because I like OG. And then next weekend, I'll probably stream. That'll be the United States Invitational. So we'll see who actually makes it into those.
Do you remember who you really are? Show me that you are still the only one for me. I'll be waiting for you. Playing out, angel rise, raising up your fist and smashing through time walls. Before the rift winter's done yet, we are rebels till the end. Rise up, angel mind, hold.
I'm Hulky! Ow! Gamma Shield! Hulk Smash!
Dodge this! Supernova!
Coming through. My favorite time.
I'm hoping they give him like some more outfits.
Human Torch in the house, yo. You don't look so hot. Boom goes the meteor. No applause?
One more round.
Dodge this.
I knew this was going to be a fight to the finish. I didn't think it was going to be this
Brightest in the
intense.
sky. Supernova. Firestorm. Flame on.
Benjamin J. Grip, reporting for duty. Go easy. Coming through. Let's rumble. I'll cover you. That's gonna bruise. Let's go, Logan.
It's clobber time.
It's clobbering time! Booyah!
All right, man. Final map.
These
Who's gonna
teams had
take
never
it?
met each other previously, and the chatter around the scene Moxie was that no one knew who was the second best team and could even be the best team, as Virtus Pro still have grand finals to try and fight the victor of this. We are 2-2 between Fnatic and OG. Titans of esports clash here at the Marvel Rivals Invitational for Europe, Middle East, and Africa.
Yeah, and it's match point for either Fnatic or OG to determine who exactly is going to be headed upwards to that grand finals and who is going to be having to discontent themselves with the podium position of third in the tournament. And I mean, you and I, we were discussing like who exactly is likely to come out ahead. It is going to be Fnatic having that silver lining of having lost Hell's Heaven, now getting the paradise of taking us to that chosen destination. And it is going to be Yggdrasil path that they decide to take us through. And for the picks and ban slots, it sort of feels like OG are stuck in a catch-22 situation of a sorts, because if they don't insta-ban out the group, then Black Sow is going to be able to access it. But if they don't insta-ban out the Hela, then Monk Mother gets access to her. So it's like, which one do you choose? What would you rather go up against on Yggdrasil path if you're OG?
Yeah, it's difficult because Groot is super strong here, but we've also seen plenty of the thing being played. Even VP have brought out Nevix on the thing on this particular matchup, so maybe there's a world where we continue to see networks play that just to make sure that you don't really have to deal with Wolverine in the draft stage when you've got the thing and the Invisible Woman on deck. I'm personally thinking we're going to see another first ban of Winter Soldier here from Fnatic. Etsu has continuously been that, and I think you're comfortable having Monk Mudder take the Psylocke duel compared to taking the Winter Soldier duel.
Yeah, and especially because like Lion Pro likes to open up a lot of these fights by looking for aggressive force physics, which means they're not there to punish when Etsu decides to push into that back line. No surprises that the bans are going to remain the same. It's going to be Hela for Monk Mother removed from the equation. Enzo not going to have access to his chosen vanguard of the Venom. Group protection for Networks and Black Sow is going to be coming on through from Fnatic. And OG, sensing that there's the potential for Etsu to lose control of the Bucky, go for the protection of the Duelist with another follow-up ban onto the Luna.
Oh, wow. They just ban out the Tanuki Wolverine. I guess that they aren't too bothered about going up against the Tanuki Star-Lord. I think the Star-Lord is pretty strong here on Idrisil Path. Admittedly, though, this does mean that there's no impetus to play the thing in many cases, unless you're going up against that double shield, which admittedly Snaze and Enzo are likely going to be playing when you ban out that Venom. But this also means that there's a lot more room for Black Soda to feel safe on the Groot and really have an impact on the game without having to play a little bit too sheepish and, reserved.
I wonder if we'll see just a little bit of the Nemo come through. It might not be at its strongest, given the fact that we did see the ban come out onto the Luna, as OG understood that with Etsu getting the protection on the Bucky, Tanuki's Wolverine would be at risk, so they took the Luna out of the mix to make sure that if Fnatic wanted to counter the Flyer, it would only be with 2 Monstro spawns, as opposed to the 3rd that the Nemo would have access to. Potentially, we also see the Storm come out here, and in fact, Mo is going to be rolling out on that X-Woman, as Fnatic now can make sure to shore up their defenses with Melio playing Linekeeper on that right side lane. So OG don't just get to break that first corner with an attention head turn spin.
Yeah, the flank guard can be so much. Sylvie, of course, utilizing the great architecture damage that Loki does to instantly break down this statue. Ironically of himself, I believe. Monk Mudder. Yeah, the Storm is going to be interesting. If it's going to give over a huge amount of extra damage to Black Soul, it's almost going to make Black Soul like the primary fragger of the Fnatic frontline.
Not just that, Sylvie is going to be dealing a lot of damage too, with those copies all getting access to that damage boost. Groot Wall is going to mean that Mag doesn't get access to LOS of his team. Enzo falls immediately.
Oh, it's such a good trap to come into. Feels so bad to leave, though. Enzo taking a bunch of damage and attempted a pull, and that grabs Melio off of the high ground. It's an opening now. This means those flanks are a little bit less attended to. So Tanuki can start to really work the margin, start to get that can opener in and peel open this defense. Tanuki taken down by Network, so very aggressive, strangling prison already there. The wall has to come on down, and so too do OG. Black So, he's just the fragger.
Tanuki tried to go for that off-angle play, taking control of the right side high ground and pushing into the back line to force Fnatic's head to spin away from that first corner. But Fnatic read it out and just out-tempered before OG can look for the punishment. They know that those players are split, and into the strangling prison, they're all grabbed. Ken now going to have to go for a God of Mischief to copy onto an Invis Woman boundary to stop Monk Mudder's shenanigans with the Omega Hurricane, as he's able to get back to the rest of his team and again slow down OG.
Yeah, get the copy, force the ult, simply leave. And of course, that invisible boundary was so far back because of Monk Mudder's positioning, but it wasn't really being able to leverage by everyone else. Oh, big pull here from Line Pro. Guess who's in trouble now? That's a guaranteed frag onto Snaze, courtesy of the Line Pro pull.
Yeah, the fact that Invis Boundary is static as opposed to something like a Luna's Fate of Both Worlds, like you said, stopped OG from being able to push into that first corner and force Fnatic into really rough spaces to be able to play. Aya Vagamoto comes on through from Networks. Edzo trying to again push back onto that strange who was incredibly deep, has the Kraken impact. Looks now to just use all of the abilities from the Bucky to gain all that shield health and survive the dance of the butterflies that Melio challenged him to.
Entangling Prison used by Enzo, not grabbing anything off the back of that one. In comes the attempted peel from Snaze after that Entangling Prison was used. Stunning players who might well have had some good follow-up onto it, but Black Soul don't need no follow-up. He's his own follow-up. Etsu super low, Monk Mudder with these sonic plays just doing so much damage. Not too much fall off the back of those as well, so just able to pressure at range.
Ken, once again, is going to have the God of Mischief. Monk Mudder not getting spotted out, though. From his position is going to go in deep once more to force that Invis Boundary away from the payload. Gets walled off by the group, trying to stop Monk Mudder from getting back to the rest of his team who could catch him. But unfortunately, the damage just isn't there as the follow-through. Line Pro shield too strong. And Monk Mudder lives long enough for Line Pro and Sylvie to go aggressive with a copy of their own.
Yeah, using the speed boost here for a quick escape. Only 40 seconds remain for OG. They are in deep trouble here. Desperately needs to heal up Snaze because if Ken has access to the copy if needed. The God of Mischief, Blackso being taken down early. This could be the opening that they've been waiting for. Enzo's got the Strangling Prison ready to go. They need to make sure that this comes to fruition. Up comes the Invisible Boundary. Healing through the Dance of Butterflies was offered over by the Psylocke. Enzo needs to stop this out here and now. A retake from Fnatic would surely doom OG's tournament run right here. That's a lot of damage coming through from the Lokis. The clones have arrayed theirs, and Ken cleans up in the end.
Yeah, they needed those picks to come in quickly because Fnatic were about to hit a gold mine of ultimates. Monkmother would have had a Mega Hurricane, Lime Pro and Viz Boundary, Networks and Plexar both accessing Eye of Agamotto and Strangling Prison within seconds of a fight breaking out too. Huge plays from OG to find the eliminations as quickly as they did. Again, aided by Ken on this Loki, who really has been the MVP of the series for this team. And OG already getting pushed forward, destroying a lot of the verticality that the defenders could have used to stop this payload. Omega Hurricane now comes on out into that Omega Hurricane aforementioned. None of the damage is actually going to be able to stick. Both of these teams playing the long haul and living to
that was a bad ult by the Storm player.
Unreal Eye of Agamotto there. Even through the push, Networks gets it done. It only confirms into one final hit. But in these games, Moxie, one final hit can be enough.
OG really
every single millimeter matters. And Among Weather is just free to cleave through this and charge up towards that next Omega Hurricane in the back. That's the popping of the Dance of the Butterflies, trying to take down Etsu. And when Etsu's isolated in that AoE, all the damage goes his way.
Fnatic just not allowing OG any time to reset and come in with the space. Galactic Legend alongside the shield stack coming on out from Alex to make sure that Tanuki survives the ultimate activation. And off at the back of that damage, potentially OG are going to be able to move forward. Blackstar trying to go for the hero play of the Strangling Prison to stall out the attackers, walk forward, but it does not work. And all it does is mean that the ultimate's not going to be available for the next fight.
Yeah, not available for the retake. That could be a little bit tragic, Mox.
Especially because Etsu could really have been held to term if the Groot had his ultimate to see the impact of the Kraken. Finding pick after pick after pick. That's the one thing that OG are going to have to be relying on. They've got the better ultimate economy. They just have to survive the initial burst damage that Monkmother is going to challenge them with this Omega Hurricane.
Omega Hurricane, of course, going to be into a back. We're going to try and waylay the exit path with this, with these walls. Agamotto also ready to go. Line Pro trying to keep them at bay for now. That's a push used. Force physics. Oh, Line Pro can't defend themselves from Etsu now. Target acquired. Pack picked up. Oh, Magmana, you stepped a foot out of line. And your toes have been singed. Etsu looks for frag after frag. Final hit after final hit. Yeah, there's a shield from Networks. He's like, oh, guys, I dodged the ult. Guys, where'd you go? Oh, Melio's down as well. Sylvie's going to do their best to contest here. It might well be a dirty attempt as Line Pro instantly hooked on the incoming tainted voltage towards the invisible strategist. Still grabs pay dirt.
What a predict from Etsu. Perfectly catches the double jump space distance coming on through from Line Pro. This Boundary is going to be up, so too is Dance of the Butterflies. Alex and Ken both not having access to this. If Fnatic go fast, they can make this damage stick. And OG continue to poke if they can land a hook, if they can stall Fnatic's pushback. They're going to have the opportunity to battery for one of their strategists, but no, it's just the regen domain and the Loki copies that are absorbing the brunt of the damage, and then the bionic hook grabs Monkmother into the distance of Tanuki.
Alex could be in danger here, but no, Etsu with the peel. Rotterstern is all they need to deal with the Eye of Agamotto. We are so far away from almost being full held on first, Moxie. This has been all momentum, all OG, all the time, and the Strangling Prison as well. Line Pro's down, Blackso certainly going to be next.
He's just mowing them
Snaze
down.
could potentially portal off.
Oh my god, and Groot's just
The
cleaning it up.
Keep your eye to see whether or not he goes for that play. Enzo with the Groot as well is going to just keep putting those walls up, making sure that no one from the defense has an opportunity of throwing themselves onto the card, that Sylvie doesn't have the option to use this God of Mischief and buy Monkmother the stall potential for this Omega Hurricane to hit home.
Sylvie races up the boundary. It's a safe disengage for Black. So coming back in with the entangling prison. Nice peel coming through from those thornwood lash walls. Tanuki, plenty of targets available to them now, but the regeneration domain is going to make some less appetizing than others. Monk Mudder bursted through the 600 HP that was offered in the midst of all of this, just ascending to the sky and laying Loki low. OG seems to have done it in the last moments in overtime. The Yggdrasil path is paved with blood, but it's the blood and the sweat and the tears of OG that bring them to the goal.
Fnatic, it feels like just lost a little bit of all of the discipline that they had. They played
like
A so well. They almost pulled off the full hold. And then they just got a little bit too big for their britches on B. That strangling prison coming on through when it was unneeded was the thing that could have prevented OG from going as aggressively forward into the second fight of B that we saw. It would have stopped Etsu from picking up the positioning to go in with the Kraken impact and catch out your Storm player, who should never be getting picked by a Bucky unless she's within distance of a Bionic Hook.
But you notice they're still going with Storm.
Accuracy. Etsu,
you notice they're still going with Storm.
Early on in the series, a mechanical demon sitting at 24-4 with 14 final hits, by the way.
Look at the heal numbers, though. Because, like, Monk Mudder has done 22,000 damage, which normally would be great, but they're not translating into eliminations. Ken and Alex are doing such a good job of mitigating. Like, Alex has healed 22,000
kind of bad for the guy.
and blocked 11,000 with his shield. And then Ken on the Loki has healed 32,000 in one round.
It just tells me they're healers.
There's a reason why VP were banning Ken's Loki.
Boom, boom, boom.
They did not want to deal with this guy.
I wonder how much of that as well is taken from regeneration domain heals too, because those have always been absolutely on point. And now OG, the shoe is on the other foot. They get the opportunity to potentially full hold Fnatic, and they know that there's going to be a group and play on that defense. So Monk Mudder is going to roll out with the Punisher to melt those walls down as quickly as they're put up with the help of the infinite ammo from the Rocket Z.
But a scant 5 minutes ago, they were in danger. Now, OG, they are the danger. Infinite ammo deployed here. That's going to give Melio a lot of damage coming on through. Actually, with the Punisher as well. This is all about trying to outplay the enemy Vanguards with raw damage. Snays take to the sky using that jump cookie coming through from the rocket pack earlier. Sometimes foreshadowing is relatively obvious, but sometimes Fnatic actually have to cede away some distance. Oh, what a hook! Unbelievable! Etsu's getting it done again. The regen domain is pumped up, and that's going to be the Cosmic Yarn Amplifier given over as well. 40% more damage, but there's near unlimited healing coming through from the invisible boundary. Snays needs to get back inside and flies away just at the right moment. The gambit here from Fnatic is yet to pay the dividends, but there's going to be another infinite ammo coming up shortly.
OG just needs
Final judgment too from Monk Mudder, but like you said, they might just prioritize utilizing that Rocket Z. Strangling Prison comes on, and into the Invis boundary it goes. Massive play from Alex to block all of that incoming hits of the Kraken impact. Final judgment is going to stand on off. OG trying to back away.
I hear a punish.
And this is Fnatic finally able to move forward.
To exchange as well. That's some good platforming there from Black So, getting him on top of Tanuki. Hook, of course, can't grab in the Punisher. He is immune to CC. Oh, the plugged up gap right there meant that Enzo was alone. Great wall coming through from Black So. Out of a shotgun has been drawn. Final judgment is going to be offered by Monk Mudder. And it's a bit faster than we saw OG do it, but still, Fnatic, a full completion is demanded to survive.
Yeah, it needs to be a fast time bank. You cannot afford to let the defenders recoup any momentum on either B or C. Already Fnatic moving forward, taking possession of the first corner into B, wanting to poke away Monk Mudder. Job done on the Punisher, moves on over to the Storm. Now that A, and that full hold potential has been broken. Blackside builds a ramp to put himself into the fight aggressively, but he is in danger. Paves the way for Networks. It's coming through with an Eye of Agamotto, and it's time around. It's Sylvie on the Loki, who's out of sight, but definitely not out of mind or out of the feed in terms of contributing to those eliminations. These Lokis can do it all.
Sylvie levied the clone army so quickly. Right where it needs to be. You can see the spawn's been pulled off as well. Network's just buying more time.
We called that particular play Get Help Leg Day.
We're not doing get help, Moxie.
Sure, there's no 4 in play, but OG might be calling for aid in a matter of minutes if they don't manage to win this particular fight. They've got an army of ultimates at their disposal to do so, but if they lose it, the snowball potential on C is going to be just as Starlord said, legendary.
They're letting it all out.
Oh, Black so deep in the back right here, survivability. Even some forces to choose the instant burst. Alex raises the invisible boundary to try and deal with the Omega Hurricane. The retake here through the portal might be too much to deal with. Monk Mud has been taken down as well. If OG can get themselves some defensive stability here, they can hold for days. But they do need to get rid of these last little remnants of Fnatic.
Etsu's clutch potential, even outside of the burst window of the Kraken impacts. Ezra
it.
knows it well. The Bulwark always given over to the Bucky, and off of the pick potential, OG will be able to hold. They're not going too aggressively forward. They know that Blackstar will be able to punish and wall off any player from OG who steps 1 iota out of position. There's ultimate economy to be made up for as well.
Oh
as
my
left
God.
click, right click, left click absolutely melts through Monk Mudder.
I mean, you called it, Marks. 1 iota out of position. And that's where they found Monk Mudder. That's enough for Enzo. Out comes the Dancer of Butterflies. Melee trying to turn this one around. The regen domains have already been dealt with, though. In comes Enzo's Meteor M. Doesn't grab too much off the back of this, but Line Pro's fallen too low. Enzo's punished for all of this, and Monk Mudder's finally returned. So maybe you can try and take this as a 5 against 4. This is all about the calling now from the side of Fnatic. They're missing their leader. There has to be some lieutenancy, some XOs that are being brought to the fore when it comes to this leadership. The respawns from the defenders are going to be coming through incredibly quickly. Snake's is super low. Maybe it could be isolated here by Blackso. Melio takes to the sky. Out comes the copy coming through. That's going to be invisible boundaries likely levied by both of these rosters. And Line Pros return to this as well. For now, they're playing it calm. Networks comes on in. Gets 2. Both the Vanguards off the back of the Iron Agamotto. Tanuki takes to the sky. Fnatic right in their sights. Monk Mudder, public enemy number 1. There's no Guardian Shield erected in time. Networks can't stand up to the damage. The regen domain proves useless here as OG retake once again.
Tanuki timing it perfectly as invisible boundary from Sylvie's copy drops. And now OG yet again can push up into the spacing, punish every single bit of space that Fnatic are able to buy with so much time burnt off of that bank. Monk Mudder does have that Omega Hurricane, so isn't potentially going to get picked early by Enzo melting them down with the Magneto combo. You do have to just keep pushing back if you're OG. Omega Hurricane right into the backline. Everyone falls away, gives the space into the regen domain from the Loki. They disappear. And Lion Pro sees an opportunity to cover and hide Blackso's engagement.
I think Agamotto could be everything. Maybe you try and peel away from this. Blackso's already got 2. Line Pro and Sylvia down, though. Snaze is turning it around by himself. You want to see a spell? I'm going to make your backline disappear. That's going to be Melio coming in now with the Dance of the Butterflies. Damages so much. 7 HP on Tanuki. Still reaches the pack. Comes back in. Melio's now down. 17 seconds remain. Alex coming back. Etsu exactly the same. OG have held strong here. Monk Mudder nowhere to be seen. The tainted voltage racks the nerves of Fnatic. Our 3rd place has been so familiar to them. They came here thinking they had an advantage, and with Black Soul turning up on the Thor, I think it might be all over. But they're crying. It's a desperate attempt from a Line Pro Raccoon, but you're going to need more than a fluffy body and a winning attitude to get past OG in the morning. 3-2, a cinematic series.
OG managed to confirm a rematch against VP. Unfortunately, putting Fnatic, like you said, back into that very familiar territory of the 3rd place podium. Alex walks away with an MVP. What a play both of the strategists were able to pull off. The fact that Alex only died 5 times total in the entire round while doling out 40,000 healing and blocking 18,000 damage. That Invis woman, normally we're talking and lauding about Line Pros playing of that particular hero, but the shield staggers coming out from Tanuki, that meant that the Star-Lord walked away only falling and returning to the respawn 5 times while managing to return 33 eliminations in their names. Really showed that OG, they're not just a Wolverine one-trick team. They've got options for days.
Dude, you know, we haven't talked about them that much over the course of this series just due to the prevalence of pop-offs from other members of OG, but Snaze might have saved that entire series with the two-person Agamotto onto a backline. Sylvie and Line Pro falling down to that without the force physics being available for Peel, that regeneration domain being up. That sealed the deal on that fight. If it hadn't happened, Blackso gets 2 off the Strangling Prison, and that fight is an absolute wash. Unreal timing from Snaze, really getting some pay there on the Strange.
Yeah, and I mean, both of those teams tried to have the win condition there. It was a backline trade coming on through, but coming on through, we're going to be grabbing one of the OG players and saying hello after what was an exhilarating series. Hello, welcome back to the broadcast. And once again, congratulations on an amazing win, Enzo.
I'm going to end the stream after this interview.
Hello. I don't know what to say. It's been 2 BO. We end up on game 5. I used to always lose the game 5 on any game I play, and today I win. I mean, today and yesterday I won 2 of them. It's just crazy.
So you went from almost being full held on point A to being able to complete a full push and then holding on to B. What exactly happened? Was it a sort of turnaround in the comms moment that allowed you guys to recover all of that momentum? Or was it just being able to punish the fact that Fnatic thought that they had already got that win?
Honestly, I don't even know what happened. It happened. It's just our magic, you know. We struggle a lot at the beginning, and then when we have 10 seconds on the clock, we just smoke everyone and push it through everything. So yeah, that just when we're close to lose, we are just winning. That's how it works.
What was the internal reaction when you guys were faced with a storm for the first time here on Yggdrasil Path, which was new to the series? Did that take much to adapt to, or were Etsu and Tanuki pretty confident rolling into that?
We knew that we played a lot of Storm during this last month, so we knew that StarLord had an insane matchup against Storm, and we knew that we had a better comp because they didn't really comfortable playing Bucky, which was one of the best pick of the meta right now. So yeah, we knew that if we had to play this matchup, it would have gone well. And we saw that the Storm never got a single kill with an ultimate. He always ulted and he was running away 1 HP, and the pick wasn't worse. We didn't feel like it wasn't a good pick for them.
So in terms of that picks and bans, because obviously there was a little bit of adaptation coming on through, we got to see the Wolverine matchup between Melio and Tanuki, and then obviously you started protecting the Winter Soldier for Etsu to have access. What exactly changed in terms of why those picks and bans started actually differing? Because a lot of the time for the first 2 maps, it was actually the same. It was copy-paste picks and bans. And then when we went to the third one, things started being a little bit different. Was there someone on the team who said, this isn't working, maybe we try doing it this way instead?
It's kind of the same as yesterday. We lost a map, then we won one, and they felt like, okay, Bucky is a problem. So they banned it. And so we knew that in the next game, we should save it because it's just working so well when we do it. I was kinda expecting them to drop the Venom ban for something else, but they were so fucking scared from it. So yeah, I guess that
dude is the first player to drop the F-bomb.
For sure, letting Bucky to Etsu wasn't the place. We can see that he did so much in those games. The hooks were massive. Everything was massive.
I'm going to give you a chance to have a bit of an ego here, Enzo. What was your best play this series? You had an absolutely lights-out series on so many maps, but what was your best play across all 5 of these maps?
I think my best play might be the map that we won on Clintard, the first BO against LG that we lost when I played Venom. And this BO was crazy, and I think that was one of my best games so far. I don't really remember of like a crazy play because I don't know. It's more like a team advantage. It's more like in terms of decision making because I'm kind of the IGL, so I make the plans, and when I make a plan that is working really well, I'm really proud of me. But you don't really see it on the stream, I guess. So I'm not really a mechanical player. I'm more like the brain of the team, I guess.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Enzo. Before we let you go and get ready for a best of 7, which could be a very long haul against VP, are there any words that you want to give? Any shout outs to your teammates, to your supporters out there?
Banging.
Thanks for watching us and supporting us all the way through this game. Like following a team during 5 games is not easy.
It's not
And
easy.
my team was completely crazy. We always lose the first match, and we just we're too strong mentally. We are getting back. Usually the first game is the warm up. We warm up. It's getting hard. We do a lot of mistakes. We lose, but we know that in the future it's gonna be crazy. So yeah, I think shout out to my team for playing so well and never giving up. Even when there is 10 seconds on the clock and we haven't pushed a single point. So yeah, that's kind of it.
Thank you so much, Enzo, and best of luck. Go get ready for your rematch against Virtus Pro, and maybe we'll see you once again in the interview room after the grand finals.
Okay, see ya.
Okay, guys, you heard it here first. When OG lose map number 1 against Virtus Pro, it's in the script, baby. It's supposed to happen. They're not a map number 1 team, unless they count it as map number 6, in which case they're a little bit better marks.
If they think that map number 1 in the first game of the day that they play is the warm-up, haven't they already had now 4 additional maps of a warm-up? But whatever happens, we are going to be in for an absolute treat of a grand finals. Right, Harry?
It's going to be an absolute banger. Ryan's going to be here to take you through that alongside Mox. It's been my absolute honor casting some of these games for you, and I hope to see you in the chat for the grand finals. Before we get to our grand finals, though, enjoy these highlights.
All right, y'all. I'll talk to y'all later. I'm going to watch this grand final on my big TV. Latest.